So you got 15.
You guys know I got 15?
You got 15.
I'm going to do 15.
All right.
You guys know who I am?
No. Who are you?
My name is Christian Botley, one of the brokers here in SOS. But I'm not going to tell you nothing more. You know why?
Why?
Because we're going to go to the board right here.
Oh.
So,
The board.
So come on this side, come on this side.
Pretty writing.
So I've been waiting this for a minute. You guys can all see the board?
Yes.
You guys can all see it?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to tell you a timeline. Now I need your participation though, okay? So when I say but, you guys have to say,
Watch your mouth.
okay? So when I say but, you say,
Hold on, Marco. What are you talking about?
you don't bleed green over here.
I know you do.
You bleed green over here.
Oh.
So but, so I got recruited a long time ago, guys.
Okay.
Not in 2021, a long time ago. So we're gonna start in 2017. Right, in 2017, I got kicked out of high school. It was called St. Genevieve. Yes, I'm name dropping, right?
Whoa.
So, I'm name dropping. St. Genevieve in on Roscoe and Van, right there on Roscoe and Van Nuys.
Send it to me.
Right, so St. Genevieve, right? It was a Catholic school. Now, mind you, I was at a school prior to that. I said, you know what? I want to go back to the school because I went there in middle school. The head coach of the football team says, yeah, man, you should come back. Cool. I ended up going back. Right? Long story short, I was told whatever's done to you, do to others. Now, that's just how I was raised. So if somebody randomly threw food at you, what are you going to do back?
Throw it back.
Throw it back. So that's exactly what I did. We both got suspended, as we were told, which is valid. It's a private school.
Okay.
But my mom is Hispanic, y'all. She don't go for that. So she wanted to know, well, if Christian didn't start it, why is he getting in trouble? So she said, we're going to go to school. You're still going to go to school that day. I said, Mom, I don't think you should do that. But we went. But when we went, she saw the other student that was supposed to be suspended going to class.
Oh, no.
Now, my mom, she gets mad with me. But it's very few times I've seen her get mad with others. Long story short, she curses the principal out. Right? Because why is he going to school but I'm not? Right? So anyways, I get kicked out of school because of that. The head coach of the football team that told me to come blocks me on phone and Instagram. Yeah, on Instagram, everything. Right? He just unblocked me not recently because I saw his page the other day, right? So that's what happened. Remember, but God has a plan. Right? So I was very upset. So I'm trying to figure out what school I'm going to go to, what's going to happen. I'm going into my junior year. Now, mind you, I'm a pretty decent kid, right? So, at the time, right? So now my dad's like, okay, he's calling around. I know a lot of people, so I can really go to any school I want to. I'm pretty good at sports. So he says, hey, you know what? You should go to Pasadena High School. Hey, you played a lot of football there. You played basketball there. I know the head coach. You can start on the basketball team over there. I can connect you. Cool. You go over there. So I was like, cool. I'm going to go to Pasadena High School to play basketball, not for football, right? But I played both. Oh yeah. But right? So I went over there to play basketball. But I went over there in September. That's what? Football season, right? So I started playing football, right? I somehow find out that my cousin is the head coach of the football team.
Wow.
Right? So we find out like, oh, that's your cousin. Wait, that's my cousin. Wait, that's my uncle. Wait, we're related. Okay, right? So that's how we find out, right? So after that happens, right? In January, since remember, I played a lot of sports there in Pasadena area where all those fires just happened. So I basically knew everyone there. So I'm going to this high school. I'm like, bro, are you back from 08 when we played AAU together? Yeah. So we're all grown now. We're not grown, but we're in high school now. So I'm reconnecting with all my childhood friends, right? So I reconnect with one childhood friend in January 2018, right? So, boom, my junior year, we did really well. Now, for football-wise, long story short, basically, the basketball coach was tripping. He said you either play football or basketball, and I didn't like that. So I said, I'm playing football, man. I could care less about basketball. That's the case, right? Even though I love both. So I decided to go all in on football. As I do that, we're playing 7-on-7 tournaments in February of 2018. So I always play defense. I don't really play offense, right? But my coach or my cousin, he says, hey, you know what, man? We know you're going to play defense. Just switch to offense for 7-on-7. Let's let the second string get some reps in on 7-on-7. So I said, sure, man, wherever you need me, I know I'm going to play, cool, whatever. So I switched to offense. Guys, I never saw the defensive side of the field again. Never. Now, At the time, I was upset about it, but I was like, I'm pretty nice at this offensive stuff. Right? I'm playing tight end, slot. I remember every time on 7-on-7, if you guys don't know, it's basically, there's no linemen, it's just receivers and running backs. Every time they go trips left, meaning they get the 3 receivers on the left, there's always one person on the single side on this side. Now, in high school, I was at an advantage because either they would put a linebacker on me, which I was always faster than, or they would put a corner on me, which he was always faster, but guess what they could do? I'm stronger than him, and I could go over top on him. Right? So I would always love that, right? Huh? Right? So I would love that, right? But anyways, from that, I started getting interviews for, I think it's on YouTube still too. I started getting interviews for college and stuff like that. But in September 2018, I broke my collarbone completely in half.
Shame.
Now, when I got tackled, I'll never forget, it was 6 people attacked me at once, right? 6 people attacked me at once, and I'm like, they're like, hey, get up. Because I usually don't stay down. I'm like, I can't. Like, what do you mean you can't? I don't know. I just can't. So they called the trainers. They said, what's wrong? I said, I don't know. I just can't get up. The doctor immediately goes to my shoulder, and he says, it's broken. He looks at the other people. I said, it's broken. You know what I'm talking about, right? And then my cousin, the coach, I said, I don't know what he's talking about. It's not broken. But as soon as I get up, I feel it. I'm like, oh, this kind of hurts. It's not broken. It hurts, right? So I go to the doctor, right? I go on the bus, go to the doctor. Doctor shows me the x-ray. It's completely broken in half.
Sheesh.
So, honestly, guys, I did not even cry or feel any real pain like that until he said that. It wasn't because of the pain I got. It was because I knew what would happen from that pain. All the schools I was talking to, all the scholarships I was lining up, different things, guess what happened? I'm gone. Guys, I went in full depression mode. I was a captain of the football team, went in full depression mode, didn't show up to practice, gained like 40 pounds. I was just out of it. We lost playoff games, championship games, because I didn't play. Other players would even say that, right? But
God has a plan.
Right? So during that time, I ended up playing 1 year junior college, right? Because my dad was like, hey, you should still play football. I play, I do drill. Awesome. School started talking to me and cool. But then what happened in 2020? COVID happens, right? But something
God
that
has a plan.
so guys, when I say but and I go like this, then you say that, all right? They say it every time. But
God has a plan.
that's how we do it. But and so I'm 24, right? Would you guys agree that I carry myself a lot older?
Yes.
Right? There's certain reasons that's happened in my life where I carry myself that way. Right? One of the main reasons, my dad is 78, old man. He don't look like he's 78, but he's 78. Right? I always make fun of him. I said, you actually saw JFK's assassination on the TV. That's a problem. You remember that? You was in your 20s, right? So we play around like that, right? So, anyways, but in February 2020, guys, I was 18. I lost my first brother to cancer at 33. Right? Seen him struggling with it 2 years, going back and forth, right? And my dad always used to tell me, he said, Christian, why didn't you go to the hospital? I said, I don't want to see him like that because I don't want that to be my last memories. Right? And my dad was with them every single day, right? But we lost him at age 33. I'll be honest with you guys, vulnerable. The reason I moved the way I do is because I feel like at 33, something's going to happen to me. I don't have as much time as other people may think. So in my eyes, I feel like, hey, 9 years from now, what if I get diagnosed with the same thing and the same thing happens to me? By the way, he was with the military. The military didn't take care of anything financially for his funeral. We had to come out of cars. That's another reason why I take this life insurance stuff very serious. Make sense? It's more than just money for me. Then August 2020, right? I get recruited to Rouse, Harris Teeter, what you call Harris Teeter out here, right? The guy, my dad was walking to the store. The guy, his name is Martell Johnson, I think. He says, hey, do you have anybody looking for work? Right? You know who he is? Martell, the big dude. You know who he is? No, that's the guy that recruited me to Rouse, the Harris Teeter. No. This is actually like at the grocery store, right? He says, hey, you know anyone looking for a job? He says, you know anyone looking for a job?
Too many
He says,
people.
my son,
You
I don't
know too many people.
Right? I got recruited to Rouse, right? Everybody recruits. So I ended up going, right? He said, I used to do the deli department, so making the fried chicken, cutting meat, all that stuff. I hated it, right? But one thing I do when I do something, I have to be good at it. So I was there for 6 months. He says, Christian, you know what? And by the way, I had a manager. Imagine having an upline, you've never seen the manager of the department, right? He says, you know what, Christian? I don't know what's going on with our manager. The department store is calling in now. How about you take over? After he said that, I told him I got COVID and never went back. I swear to you, I did it. Because one thing I noticed was that everybody I talked to, they was like, yeah, I've been here for 20 years, 30 years. I said, you've been here, this store, for 20 years? No, not me, I was just, no.
Facts.
They said, and then one, they would always say this. I said, oh, I'm not saying it that long. Ah, that's what I said. Oh.
Wow.
Okay, so I gotta get out of here quick. Right? Because I knew I was gonna make a lot of money. I was gonna do something. I was gonna do this. I was 19, 18 at the time, right? So I ended up leaving, right? But the reason I left though is because childhood friend calls me saying, hey, he has an opportunity for me. It's not the business though. It's doing security. But it really wasn't security. Honestly, we were just having fun and making money. I'll be honest with you, right? But anyways, January 2021, I quit Ralph's to go full-time in the opportunity. A couple months later, guys, right? Remember, but
God has a plan.
that same childhood friend that I reconnected back in January 2018, since we got so close, the guy said, hey, do you know anyone else looking for work? He calls me. I end up getting a security job. A couple months later, I get prospected. The guy walks into me, his name is Eric Letterman. He did was a #1 recruiter in Unity all of 2021. He only had one licensed agent. That was me. So I'm forever grateful to Eric, right? That was me. Talked to me, did the 4 questions, the whole thing. 2 weeks later, I get started. And then I get started in May of 2021, I get coded. So I've been in the business for 5 years. Make sense? Yes. Now, as I get started, right, as you guys know, I got my license in 2 days, hit MD in 6 months, got my watch in a year, right at age 20. And then during that time frame, though, my other brother passes away. Someone laces weed with fentanyl. Right? You ever hear your parents call you? Hey, they call your name and they say, what's up? What? They don't say nothing? My dad called me, but it felt different this time. It was Sunday morning, I'll never forget. It was Sunday morning, he calls me. I walk out of my room, he can't even speak. And all I hear him say is say Anthony, and I ran to his room, and I tried to basically do resuscitation on him, but he's ice cold. And when I touched him, I got flashbacks when I touched my brother when he was passed away, the first one. And I knew he's been like that for days. Also, another thing too, I wrote a policy on him on my MD run. And he kept telling me it was too expensive. When it really wasn't, but he said he couldn't afford it. But I wasn't as skilled as I am today. I wished I would have pushed even more or said the right things that I knew now, because I probably could have given my dad a check for $50,000, $60,000. And he should have got denied, honestly. He was messed up. It was with NLP too. Appreciate you, man. Right? So he should have got denied. Right? So he should have got denied, but he got approved. But I did not push. He said it was too expensive, and that's all he said. Right? Now, my dad took everything was good, but really, my brother should have been my first death benefit claim. After that, guys, first I seen what happened with my first brother. My second brother had an opportunity where I could have given my dad a check, but I couldn't. So for me, that's when I went from just making income to going to serve families. So when you guys see on the leaders board, Christian has this many submitted apps, this much death benefit protection, this much paid apps, it's not because of the income. It's because I don't want the same thing that happened to my brother to another family. Twice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But
God has a plan.
so during this time frame, I also have some other personal life stuff going on, right? Things are happening at that same time, right? Whatever. 3 months later, during that time frame, I'm trying to figure out, okay, man, all this stuff, life is lifing right now. I don't want to do nothing. But
God has a plan.
He has a funny way of working. The very next week, it was a call, right? A company call, I think you were on it as well too. They announced March Madness. And this one you got the draft who you want on your team. I get picked up on a team. I'm like, I gotta get in it. I'm gonna come through God, so I'm like, I guess I gotta lock in, man. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put my life to the side and come through for my team. Because of that, me coming through for my team, 3 months later, we end up winning the dang competition. I win $10,000 worth of gold from the company and get my 100K ring.
Wow.
18 months after I get coded. So I realized after that, man, if I could do this when life is life, what can I do long term? I've grown, my income has grown, I've grown as a man, as a person. Imagine what I could do long term, and I'm only gonna get better, right? But life be lifing. So May 2024, I decide, hey, you know what? I gotta reset my life, right? I got to take care of some things. I'm going to step away from the business. Right? August 2024, George Palau comes to the SOS Fast Start School. He gives me a call on his way back. He says, Christian, when you come back to the business, I recommend you go work with Chris and Messina Hart. And he knew I was either going to go work with Vargas or go work with Hart. And after that conversation with Palau, and also I was like, it makes sense. Why would I go work with, well, I guess, why would I should go work with Hart. Makes sense? Right? I said, it makes sense. He says, Christian, there's people in that office that are young like you, making money. It makes sense for you. Because I grew up in an office where everybody, all my MDs were old enough to be my parents. That's just what it is, right? Everybody was just older, right? It was me, then Elvis and Bruno. And Elvis and Bruno got like 6-7 years on me, right? So, in May of 2025, right, I moved to the DMV. So a year ago today, who's brand new in here? First time in here, I know we got Kathleen, right? She's from Sears Base, right? She just moved here to Baltimore, right? All right, so we got her first day here. First day. So a year ago today, or around this time frame, I just moved here. I don't know anybody. I don't have any clients lined up, any posses lined up. I got nobody coming to be on, no guests, nothing, just me. Right? And I remember, I'll never forget, Chris asked me, he said, I took this as disrespect. This is how I'm wired. I know he didn't mean it. But he said, hey, are you going to get a job when you move here? A job? Did I not say that? He says, well, Christian, you got to work your way up, man. Like, you're not going to make money right away. It takes time to build this, you know. I said, yeah, I know. But a job, I said, I know the 6 plays of the business. I know how to prospect, make phone calls, presentations, fast start, follow up, and do. I said, I know I'm not going to make a lot of money very quickly, but it will take time. But I'm going to move here and make sure I'm good, but I'm going to get a job. Nobody can pay me what I'm worth. By the way, God did not make you, put you on this earth to work for somebody else. What is the cheapest thing to rent today? People. I can hang $20, $25 in front of your face. Most people say, I would work for you tomorrow. Why? Why?
Crazy.
Do you
That's
know,
crazy.
back in biblical times, do you know when you see on biblical movies, guys, was anybody work for anybody? No. People were selling and running their own businesses. That's what God created us for. Not to work for somebody. Make sense? Know what God put you here on this earth for. Right? Now, fast forward a year later. I could go accolades and accolades and accolades. My rolling, let me ask brand new person, because y'all people be pocket watching here. So, who's brand new? So I moved here a year ago, right? I knew nothing. I didn't know anybody. I don't have no family, nothing. How much money do you think I made in the last 12 months? Be conservative. Like, I don't know anybody. Like, past 12 months, because I moved here a year ago, I was just like you, but I didn't know anybody. What do you think? At least 100,000? Would that be good if the next 12 months making $100,000? I think you really can, right? Who thinks around that or less? Probably less? Kathleen, what would you think? You gotta hear my story. See, never mind, I can't ask you. 40K? Would that be solid? If the next 12 months, Brandon, you make 40K, would that be solid?
Yeah.
Would be good, right? Under the leadership of Chris and Messina Hart, I'm at the highest rolling income ever, $140,000 the last 12 months. Understand this. The reason for me to make this type of income, guys, isn't because of me. I want to validate their coaching. Do you know people call me all the time saying, bro, what are Chris and Messina doing? I mean, they prospect, do CFT class. Man, I was talking to Bruno earlier today. He was like, what's Simi doing? I told him exactly what Simi's doing. He said, that's it? Yeah. And I said, he's about to cross over $500,000 in income. It's a system. That's it. But when I moved here, guys, I knew I was going to make income. But I wanted to move here. I'm glad they accepted me. I wanted to validate their coaching. Because everybody, when I moved here, everybody was looking at my eyes. I wanted to make it so uncomfortable that I make so much income, build so many MDs, and every time I speak on stage or talk about it, I'm going to say it's because of Chris and Messina Hart's leadership. Every time. I told Chris, I said, my goal is to make $250,000 by MGM Grand. Why? Because if I make $250,000 by MGM, I'm going to speak on stage. And what I'm going to say is the last 12 to 15 months working alongside Chris and Messina Hart, I've made $250,000 income. I want to flood their base in their hierarchy with a bunch of national co-leaderships from people from different organizations. That's the truth. That's the best way I can repay him. That makes sense? Yeah. So remember, God has a what? Plan. For each and every single one of you. He put you on this earth to build other people, to develop you as a person to have leadership, but also lead other people. He did not put you on this earth to work for anybody. I don't care if you make $250,000 a year at your job right now, $500,000 a year. You still work for somebody building someone else's business. When are you going to build yours? That makes sense?
Yeah.
With that being said, that's my time.